So the government can't say they weren't warned, but it's just breathtaking, the lies. It's extraordinary to me, Rachael, that Nicola Sturgeon, the former Chief Minister of Scotland, First Minister, I might have that terminology wrong, she lost her job as the leader of the Scottish nation over legislation almost identical to that which Anastasia Palaszczuk and Shannon Fentiman, with the support, of course, of the LNP, are pushing through Queensland. Why is this issue not gaining traction here in Australia as it did in Scotland?
I think one of the key differences with Scotland was the media coverage. So Nicola Sturgeon really got put on the spot by some good journalists who called out the issues with, male rapists being housed in women's prisons, with the concerns around the self-ID laws. And those videos went viral, and it was incredibly embarrassing for her. There were a lot of women's advocates and others pushing back against this as well. I think the fact that the UK stepped in to help block the law was also very helpful. But I think media has a huge role to play, and we're not seeing enough of that from the mainstream media in Australia. There's almost like this kind of protection racket going on when it comes to this kind of thing. Even last week when Shannon Fentiman, had that absurd definition of a woman, it was barely covered. And it should have been covered because she's the Minister for Women who doesn't know what women are.
Yeah, we are being let down by the media in this country. That's why platforms like ADHD, just a shameless plug, exist. And thank goodness for that. We've got to find a way to get the truth out. And we'll continue watching that issue in Queensland. As you say, the debate is due to come on any day now. But just switching to another issue, Rachael, last month you and others spoke up about the ABC, our taxpayer-funded broadcaster, glamorising the self-harm of young people. I'm going to put an image up on the screen right now, which comes from the ABC Queer Instagram page, brought to you by the taxpayer. Rachael, what are we seeing here? Is this an act of self-love, as the ABC describes it, or is it the ABC showcasing something that's actually far more sinister?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here is actually incredibly disturbing and insidious. The fact that the ABC is promoting what is effectively self-harm to its followers as something that's loving. And again, as we talked about earlier with young people who are transitioning, and not just young people, but people in general who have gender confusion and who think that they've been born in the wrong body, or who don't feel comfortable in, with their biological sex. There is so much hurt often underlying that, so many various different psychological issues, other issues, and those things aren't being addressed. Instead, we're telling young women, who, by the way, are overrepresented when it comes to those showing up at gender clinics, that actually cutting off their healthy breasts is an act of self-love. And not only have we got these issues in relation to gender-confused young people, but the self-harm is also, in general, is also an issue in this country with young women in particular. So to kind of promote that, I think, is incredibly dangerous and just, yes, very, very disturbing.
Well, shame on the ABC.